I recently replaced every single interior door in my house, and I made a lot of mistakes at first, and I learned a lot throughout the process. I've condensed everything that I learned down into this video so that you can get it right the first time. Thanks for watching, and I hope it helps. First, you remove the old door from the hinges. Lay it down and take off the hardware. Then I take the new door, place it over the old door, and align the holes. This gives me where I need to make my cuts. So I make my cut marks. Then I use a guide for the saw along the cut mark. But as soon as I did that, I realized that I cut off the entire bottom rail. Not a big deal. I'll just cut off a new top and bottom rail off of the other side of the door and use those in place of the areas I cut off. Now I can just use some wood glue to fit the pieces I cut off back in there. Perfect. Now we need to double check to make sure that the old door and the new door are the exact same width. In this case, they're not. So we have to plane down the new door so that it's the same width as the old door. In this case, it took a couple of different passes to get it perfect. Now we make our markings for where the hinges will go on the new door. I use a tool called a wheel marking gauge to measure the exact distance away the hinge lived on the old door and make that mark on the new door. I can also use the gauge to measure the depth of the hinge, and I make that mark as well. Now I just have to chisel it out. Once the hinge is perfectly flush with the door, I know it's ready. Now I chisel out the other hinge. Then I use a nail to make my markings for my hinge and pre-drill the holes. This ensures that the screws go in nice and straight. Now we install the new door and make sure that it fits perfectly. And it does. Now it's time to paint. Bring the door back out, we clean it off really well. We start with a paintbrush and we paint all of the inside grooves, and we use a roller to do the rest. And we make sure we do 2 coats. So once the first coat dries, we do the second coat, and we flip the door over and we do the same thing.